Hi, everybody. I have been keeping this smeltery busy. So I may have 99 problems, but lack of iron ain't one. So what to do while I'm waiting for the rest of this to smelt up? I have a couple of projects. And I'm thinking I want to start with steel to improve the general quality of my tools. Now, having experimented with this a little bit before in creative, I know that I'm going to need bigger batteries than the basic RF storage. And I could probably use more solar cells too if I'm going to use that to generate my RF. So we'll smelt up this gold and then we'll get to work on those batteries. Okay, so I've got my advanced RF storage hooked up and it's charging, but it is taking quite a while. At 32 RF per tick. And that is after adding 3 more solar panels to my array. So I really do need to see about better RF generation. Let me see what I can do about that. So I've added a furnace generator from NeoTech to the power loop. I thought about starting with deep resonance, but I really don't have space to set up that kind of equipment. And I really don't feel like that kind of work just yet anyway. Just for the sake of comparison, I decided to try putting in a Stirling engine from Buildcraft to see what it adds. It starts out with 10 RF per tick, whereas the furnace generator gives 20. But this will generate more power as it warms up. Actually, the RF storage is full, and the Stirling engine seems to have stopped because of it. That could have been better planned. So it's time to get that iron. And fully smelted, that's what we've come out with. Isn't it pretty? Okay, so things are fully charged and ready to go. And I think that this RF storage should last long enough to melt 8 pieces of coal to make the carbon that we'll need to mix with iron in order to make steel. It's a slow process though, so it'll be a few minutes. Okay, so we're on the last of those 8 pieces. And we are at a bit less than a quarter power, I think. So it might be kind of close. Not that close, though. And once you have the carbon melted down, all you have to do is just melt the iron and send it to the same place. I've already actually produced about 8 ingots worth of liquid steel. So once these other 4 ingots melt down, we should have 16. Okay, all that iron's melted down. We've got our molten steel almost done. And then we just have to set this thing to receive. Now earlier I had actually made up some steel and tried draining it directly into a casting basin, casting table. And I had a crash and actually had to restore the game from a backup. Normally, you're supposed to put this molten steel into an electric solidifier. But I don't have easy access to snowballs, and I'm pretty sure that I should be able to simply pipe it into my smeltery. But before I attempt that, I'm going to make another backup. And we're back. So we set this for input. And yes, that's very sad. And I'm back again. So yeah, that's one thing never to do. Don't hook up these fluid interface pipes from NeoTech to a smeltery. I wanted to try hooking something else up, like perhaps Buildcraft's fluid pipes. So I went exploring to look for a desert with some cactus. And I didn't find any. But I did find a snowy biome, which gave me the ingredients I needed to make an electric solidifier, which will allow me to solidify these ingots. So I put an advanced RF storage on top of it, Got it all charged up. We set it to ingot mode. And it seems to work. So far, we should have about 16 ingots coming through at any moment. And I've gained practical knowledge of Jellum. "16 steel ingots. Now we're ready to make some better tools. However, we won't be making the tool heads with the steel. I found, by looking at just enough items, that those actually work better for tool rods, handles. By the way, I have found out that paper is now available as a building material for tools again. So that will allow us to add a modifier to our tools. Actually, on second glance, I spoke too soon. Obsidian is about the only material I've seen that will break cobalt before you have cobalt, but its durability is horrible. So for regular usage, we're going to be sticking with steel. But I will be taking an obsidian pickaxe to the nether to pick up cobalt. In other news, I've found out that if you make an iron golem and examine it with the thermometer, it opens up the Golemancy tab in your Thaumanomicon. And he has redone the whole system, so this ought to be interesting. Okay, so we'll be starting on some golems next episode. And whatever else I do next, it will probably be magical. Or possibly pneumatical. Or it might involve explosives. It will almost certainly involve a trip to the nether. And we all know how much fun those are. So be sure to tune in next time for it. And until then, check out my videos. Like, subscribe, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.